Howdy Vine Trippers, welcome to the first ever Texas Under Vine video update. So this is for October 2023 and I hope to actually put these out monthly, and I just want to give you a quick little update on some of the things that I've been working on this month and what is to come for next month hopefully. So quickly, if you're not familiar with the podcast, I actually travel around to different wine destinations all over the state of Texas to introduce people to wineries that we have here in Texas, or what I call wine destinations, because not all of them are necessarily wineries. But part of this started from my own experience working in a tasting room and wanting to visit wineries myself and not knowing anything about them but the name. And talked to a lot of customers who said that they wanted to know more about different wineries that we have here in Texas before they go visit. So I decided to make this podcast where I visit a different winery, or what I call wine destination, every single time. So every episode is a different wine destination that you can listen to, hear about some information about it, hopefully hear from either the owner or the winemaker or something like that, so that you can actually plan your own wine trips. So that's a little bit about the podcast that we have here at Texas Under Vine. I've been going on almost at my 1-year anniversary. So let's talk about October for a second. Here in October, I released 2 episodes. I was able to release an episode with Hilmy Cellars, which is in the Texas Hill Country. Great episode there where I got to interview Michael Barton, their winemaker. If you get a chance, you ought to listen to that episode. I'm actually drinking today a Cabernet Franc from Hilmy Cellars. So this is the Hilmy Cellars. If you can see, I'm not sure if you can see that wine label very well, but this is the Hilmy Cellars Cabernet Franc that I'm actually drinking during this episode today. Great wine that I bought from my wine library there. The second episode that I released was actually on October 18th. And that was for Rerooted 210, which is an urban winery in the San Antonio area. If you're ever down in San Antonio or Hemisphere Park, you have to check it out. It's a really cool, sustainable winery with kegs and so forth. Jennifer Beckman is the proprietor and winemaker there. She actually partners, ironically, with Hilmy Cellars and Michael Barton to help make her wine there, and they put it in keg and then bring it to Rerooted to distribute, and it's a fun location downtown you need to check out. So that was kind of my 2 October episodes that I have provided for you this month. Got some more exciting ones coming out next month for November. A couple of things in the industry that have happened during this month. I want to give a little hat tip to a couple of passings actually that we had in the Texas wine industry. We lost 2 major Texas wine pioneers recently in Gary Gilstrip of Texas Hills Vineyard. He was my episode number 2 for Texas Under Vine. And I love Gary Gilstrip and what they've done with Texas Hills Vineyard. They were instrumental in getting the Texas Hill Country Wineries wine trail established. You can go back and listen to the episode for that. Or I recently had a bonus episode with January Weesey of the Texas Hill Country Wineries. She tells a little of that story as well. But we were really heartbroken to lose Gary. He was a major pioneer for Texas wine, started Texas Hills Vineyard way back in 1990, and really got a lot of amazing things started with the Texas Hill Country industry for wines and wines throughout the whole state of Texas. So definitely you need to try to visit Texas Hills Vineyards there in Johnson City if you're ever in the area, because he really made a huge impact and we will miss him for sure. As well as we just recently lost Ed Aller of Fall Creek Vineyards. I have not yet had a chance to do a podcast for Fall Creek Vineyards, which is very sad for me. I did get a chance to meet Ed and Susan Aller in their tasting room through another venture that I am a part of. So I did get to meet Ed. I was really excited to talk to him and to hear about what he's done with their Fall Creek. Again, he was instrumental in getting the whole Hill Country Texas AVA established. And they started way back in 1975 with Fall Creek Vineyards. So they were one of the first major wineries here in Texas. Truly a Texas titan of the wine industry. And his presence will be missed with his passing. I know that Fall Creek is in good hands with Susan and with their staff, and it will continue to go forward and be a major player here in the Texas wine industry. And I do look forward to a chance to bring them to you as a podcast episode down the road somewhere soon. But our hearts do go out to Susan, to Fall Creek, as well as to Texas Hills for Gary Gilstrap and his passing. But we have been celebrating, actually, shifting gears a little bit, to October as being Texas Wine Month. And that was established way back in, I think, around 1999, 2000, somewhere so, with George Bush and Susan Combs, who was the Ag Commissioner at the time. And so we celebrate Texas Wine Month here in October. If you follow my social media, I've actually been providing some updates to past episodes and things like that. So you should be able to follow along with there. I've been kind of revisiting some of my past episodes over this past year and kind of seeing where we've come so far with Texas Under Vine. But it's been a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the Passport event for Christmas time. So as we finish up Texas Wine Month, we're right at the end of it now. And the Texas Passport event has ended. If you don't know what the Texas Passport event is, make sure you check out my bonus episode number 3, where I talked to January Weesey with Texas Hill Country Wineries and their Passport event that they had just recently for the Texas Wine Month. But they have several of these Passport events throughout the year that occur at different times where you can actually go out and visit other wineries, taste different great wines, and do a bunch of fun things there. They do have a new one coming up for the Christmas time season, so make sure you check out the Texas Hill Country Wineries website and find out more about that. That's coming up soon. As well as some exciting news coming up for Texas Under Vine. I am currently working on, it's not released yet, it should be released soon, but I'm working on a merchandise store. So if you want to sport some great Texas Under Vine merchandise, I have some of that coming up soon, some hats, some shirts. I'm really excited. I'm releasing a limited edition season 1 t-shirt that will come out to celebrate my Texas Under Vine tour throughout Texas of the different episodes I did during the first year, the first season of Texas Under Vine. That should be coming up soon. I'll announce that soon on my social media, and you'll see that on the website as well if you visit there. I have a couple of really, really exciting episodes coming up in November that I'm really proud of, that I looked forward to for a long time, and excited to be able to bring those to you. So be watching for those in November as well. I am going to end my season 1 right at the end of November. So I started right at the towards the end of November last year in 2022. I'm going to bring my season 1 to a close right at the end of November with a really exciting episode. I can't wait to put the cap on it there with that episode. And that's in the works right now. And then I'm going to take a short break. I'm not always going to take a break between my seasons, but I wanted to align my seasons up to the calendar years. Since I started in November last year, I decided to take a short break during the month of December this year. And I'm going to start back up with the official season 2 of Texas Under Vine in January. And I already have an exciting episode in the works for that. So be looking for that. Be aware there will not be any episodes during the month of December while I take a little bit of a break, reconnect with my family just a little bit, and enjoy coming back to you in January with season 2. Like I said, there won't always be a break between those. I just wanted to align to the calendar year. So season 2 will start in December. It'll pick up with the episodes as we've been going. But that'll start coming in January. Now, a couple of things that are coming up here in November that I wanted to let you know about. I will be attending the Texas Wine Jam. If you're a follower of the podcast, you'll know I did give actually 4 one-day passes out as a giveaway to one of my lucky listeners. I want to congratulate Steve Rogers for winning those tickets to the Texas Wine Jam. I'm excited for him to go out and visit that. I'm actually going to be out there at Vonovium for the Texas Wine Jam on November 4th. So I'm going to be out there in full force. Look for me, hopefully wearing my Texas Under Vine shirt. So you should be able to find me. If you're out there, please come up and say hello. I would love to meet you. I'm going to have some fun, cool little stickers for Texas Under Vine that I can give to you. If you want one of my stickers, let me know. I'll give you one of those. But I should be out there to see some of those great wineries. Some of them I've done podcasts for. Some of them I'm still hoping to do podcasts for pretty soon. But I will be out there at the Texas Wine Jam on November 4th. That's the Saturday. It actually extends into Sunday as well. I won't be there Sunday, but I encourage you to check it out and see that. It's a fun event there at Vonovium on November 4th and 5th. And then also down the road a little ways, I do plan to be at the Texas Hill Country Wine Symposium starting in February. So that's going to be in the first part of February. I'll be at the Texas Hill Country Wine Symposium as well. And then as I go to different types of events and things like that, I'll try to let you know in these monthly video updates I hope to do. So look for the next one of these video updates coming out in December. I'll put that up on YouTube as well. So in closing, a couple of things. If you have not subscribed to the show, make sure you subscribe to my podcast. It's on every place you can find podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, all the fun podcast places and podcast catchers, as they call them in the industry. You'll find Texas Under Vine. So make sure you subscribe to the show. That way you'll get every single episode as soon as it's released. And then as well, if you would consider actually rating and reviewing the podcast, it really does help me get kind of pushed up in the reviews a little bit. It helps me get in the algorithm. You know, in this world of technology today, we have to challenge and battle the algorithms and all these things. And in all those podcast services, if you rate and review my podcast, it pushes me up in the algorithms a little bit so that people are looking for Texas wine information. Either that's people here in the state or even people who are traveling to our great state to see the great Texas wine industry we have here. That helps me get seen and people can learn more about some of our Texas wineries that we have here in Texas. So a simple rating and review is free to you and it really helps me out. I do relish all the feedback you're willing to give. And even if you don't want to do that as a rating or review, even just send me an email, Scott@TexasUnderVine. I would be glad to read those and hear what you have to say about the show. Anything I can do to improve, I'm always looking to do that. Also, if you're really enjoying the show and you want to support it, so I am really a full-time teacher, so this job is a side gig for me. I'm supporting it directly out of my pocket to bring you this information, and some of the costs can get expensive actually to host the show, to have my website, to get out and travel to these locations. And so if you're willing to support me and help me out with that for just a cost of a glass of wine each month, you can actually support me. So if you go actually to my website, TexasUnderVine.com, click the Become a Patron link, you can actually go and join my Patreon site to help me support the podcast. It really does help me cover my costs. It gets me out so I can travel to even more locations around the state. I'm really excited to see even more great locations here in Texas. And you'll get some behind the scenes materials that not everyone gets. I do take photos at each location, so you'll get to see some of those photos. And I also do a quick video walkthrough. So one of the Patreon subscriber levels gets you a video walkthrough at each of the wineries that I go to as well. So check that out. It's a Become a Patron. It's at the top of my website, TexasUnderVine.com. And other than that, I look forward to seeing you next month. I will be back hopefully for a new video right at the end of November, beginning of December, as we talk about the holiday season approaching us. Until then, happy trails and bottoms up, friends. Enjoy your wine. I know I'm going to.